To the degree he suggested that I acted unethically, that was not accurate, and it wasn't in any occasion, much less on numerous occasions.
Okay, let's talk about this case, United States v. Von Rico Weber, which you claim to not. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ritz, you are a political activist, aren't you?
I would not consider myself that at all, Senator.
Okay. When you were sworn in as U.S. Attorney, you gave a speech, didn't you?
I did.
Okay. Here's what you said. I'm going to quote from your speech. But you should know that justice for me is about more than putting people in prison. For me, it's also about who votes and how hard it is to cast that vote. It's about where pipelines go. It's about where bus routes go. Justice is about whether people in all zip codes can get a loan, whether women have access to health care, whether citizens have affordable housing or clean drinking water. Sometimes those are Department of Justice issues. Sometimes they are not. But for me, they're all justice issues. Did I read that accurately?
I believe so, Senator.
Okay. Did you really remove the Tennessee state flag from your conference room?
Senator, I appreciate you asking about this again. As the chief federal law enforcement.
Well, did you do it?
So I felt it was fundamentally inappropriate when I gave press conferences and similar statements to the public to indicate or suggest somehow that I spoke for the state, which I don't under our system of federalism.
Are you embarrassed to be from Tennessee?
Not at all, Senator. I am from Tennessee, grew up as a public school kid in Tennessee.
But you were embarrassed to have the Tennessee flag.
That's not it at all, Senator.
Okay. You have a history of lying to your professional colleagues, don't you?
That's not true, Senator.
Okay. Do you know a former public defender named Stephen Shankman?
I knew him to a degree. I'm not sure we ever had any cases together. I knew who he was, yes.
Well, in a private email, not meant for public consumption, to another one of your professional colleagues, this is what Mr. Shankman said, talking about your lying. He said, "It is unfortunate that this is not the first, second, third, or whatever occasion that this sort of thing has occurred. But everyone should be aware of this unfortunate pattern of behavior. You should be aware," he said to the other lawyer, before the other lawyer dealt with you. "Your client should be aware, and you should proceed with extreme caution." Was Mr. Shankman lying?
To the degree he suggested that I acted unethically, that was not accurate, and it wasn't in any occasion, much less on numerous occasions.
Okay, let's talk about this case, United States v. Von Rico Weber, which you claim to not remember. But before I do that, a few seconds ago, you lied to Senator Hawley, didn't you?
I'm under oath, Senator. I did not lie.
You said you have no knowledge of any complaint, professional complaint made against you, didn't you?
I said I have no knowledge of any sort of formal complaint, and he read from a letter that I don't believe I ever saw.
And you were shocked. You
If
never heard of that before.
If there were a formal complaint, that, as I said, I had not known about that.
Okay. You were amazed.
I don't recall any of that.
I
recall this Mr. Weber's
have
case.
amnesia about it.
Again, I am unaware of any formal complaint or investigation. Certainly was not.
You believe in the Tooth Fairy?
Senator, I don't.
You believe in the Easter Bunny? Now, in this case, United States v. Von Rico Weber, you lied to the defense counsel. And the defense counsel then had to go before the court and withdraw a plea for his counsel. And a complaint was filed, about which you apparently have amnesia. And the Justice Department replaced you. And the lawyer from the Justice Department who replaced you, this is what the lawyer said. The new attorney said about you. So these allegations against Mr. Ritz are, quote, serious. And it is taken so seriously, referring to the Department of Justice, by our office. That is one of the reasons I'm here, and Mr. Ritz will be more than likely be taken off this case because of those allegations. End quote. You lied to Senator Hawley, didn't you?
I didn't lie to the defense counsel in that case. I didn't lie today, Senator.
Now, my good friend Senator Ossoff asked you if you'd follow the law. And you said, yeah. But if you're lying to us today, we're stuck with you, aren't we?
Senator, I have not lied and did not lie in that case.
You just have amnesia.
I did not lie in that case. There was a written plea agreement with the entire agreement of the parties.
If you believe that, you believe Elvis is alive and running a small bait stand on Lake Erie. Shame on you.
Mr. Ritz, I asked our staff here who review all sorts of nominees' qualifications and backgrounds how it would be possible that someone could file a complaint against someone and they didn't know it. They said it is not uncommon at all for OPR to decide not to act on that letter of complaint and not to proceed with it and not even to notify the person accused.
That's my understanding as well. But again, yes.
We think that's a fact. So this notion about amnesia or whatever it may be, it is credible, at least possible, that exactly as you portrayed it, they never notified you. Senator Booker.
Thank you, Mr. Ritz, for being here. I really appreciate
it. In this moment, the senator's words still hang in the air like a weapon, like a verdict half delivered, like the room itself refused to exhale. "You lied to Senator Hawley, didn't you?" Kennedy said. And it wasn't just a question. It was an accusation constructed to force the nominee into the moral corner of the American judiciary. Every syllable was sharpened. Every metaphor, the tooth fairy, the Easter bunny, Elvis at a bait stand on Lake Erie, was designed not for jurisprudence, but for the audience of the nation, for the emotional public memory of distrust, for the political subconscious of America after years of institutional erosion. This was not light sparring. This was the Senate Judiciary Committee saying, "We are measuring your character by the one thing government cannot function without, truth." And the nominee responded, calm, controlled. He said he had not lied. He said he did not know of a formal complaint. He said he did not recall. He said he did not see the letter. This hearing did something important. It forced America to once again confront the structural paradox of government power. The people who will interpret law for 330 million citizens are selected in a system where truth is filtered through language, memory, and allegation, not omniscience. The stakes of who becomes a judge are not abstract. They are not theoretical. They are not political hobbyism. They will decide life, liberty, sentencing, environmental harm, civil rights, voting access, constitutional boundaries. And that is why when Senator Kennedy's voice rose and he asserted disbelief itself as the rhetorical weapon. "You believe in the tooth fairy. You believe in the Easter bunny. You believe Elvis is alive." It wasn't childish. It was a political style built to break the witness's composure. It was an attempt to force binary moral clarity in an institution built on nuance. The senator wanted an on-the-record alignment with reality itself. He wanted a fault line. He wanted the nominee to choose the absolute defensibility of his career or the acknowledgement that memory is not perfect and systems do fail. Because the American justice system is not just precedent and statute, it is trust. It is whether we believe the person holding the gavel is anchored to reality. The Senate was testing not simply a resume, but the ethical coherence of power. And then, Senator Durbin intervened, quiet, calm, and he said something subtle. He noted that in the Justice Department, OPR often never notifies accused officials of complaints if they don't proceed. He said it happens. He said it is real. And in that moment, the entire frame shifted. The attack became uncertain. The certainty became conditional. The absolute accusation became complicated by the machinery of bureaucracy itself. This is government. This is the messy, uncomfortable, contradictory reality of American law. It is both theater and constitutional architecture. It is both personal and structural. It is both accusation and process. This is why hearings matter, because the American public rarely sees the operating system of power laid bare this nakedly. One senator weaponizing metaphor to force moral absolutes. Another senator introducing institutional nuance that undermines the absolutism. And a nominee caught between two competing visions of reality, not only defending his character, but defending the right to govern, judge, interpret, and shape the future's legal scaffolding. This is the most important hidden truth. Congressional hearings are not about punishment. They are about calibration. They are about testing what we are willing to allow into the bloodstream of American law. They are about ritual. They are about symbolic moral filtration. They are about deciding who we trust to be the final word for decades on what is constitutional and what is not. And that is why we end here tonight, in this unresolved tension, truth and memory, allegation and denial, metaphor and procedure. Hard moral clarity colliding against the bureaucratic ambiguity of a government with thousands of invisible internal channels. The American system does not settle quickly. It does not resolve simply. It forces us to sit inside discomfort. It forces us to ask the hard question of ourselves. If we cannot perfectly verify the past, how do we choose who gets to decide the future? This moment mattered because it exposed the nervous system of the Republic, the part we usually never see. Because democracy is not just elections and votes. Democracy is the moral vetting of power before it takes the bench. Democracy is the insistence that truth must matter, even when truth is contested. So, as the lights dim on this hearing room and the microphones go cold, remember this moment. Remember the stakes. Remember how fragile trust truly is. And remember that what happens here, in these rooms, before these committees, in these interrogations, will shape law long after every one of us is gone. This is the Congress Brief. Subscribe to the Congress Brief.